What's going on, FA Nation? Jon Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS podcast and live stream. It is Monday, James. 8 games on the slate. The NBA season coming closer and closer to an end of the regular season, which means some questionable player statuses. Some players already ruled out. Some players potentially being shut down. Looking at you, Damian Lillard, Luka Doncic already ruled out on this slate here. If you just look at the top price guys, like more than half of them have some level of questionable, probable, or out tag on them already here. This is end of season NBA DFS. We've been talking about it almost since opening day of NBA DFS. That March and April are become a little bit of a shit show when it comes to NBA end of season DFS play here. We've reached that point. So 8 games here. It's going to get a little bit of messy. You got to pay attention to all of the roster news that comes out closer to lineup lock. But James and I give you our first look podcast every morning. We'll do our best to break down the slate, give you our takes on who we think will and won't be playing, and who the pivots will be if those guys are out of the lineup.
Yeah, a couple interesting things. Luka's out is self-inflicted because he received his 16th technical yesterday in a second consecutive loss to the Charlotte Hornets. And they are now currently sitting as the 11 seed, John, heading into Monday's slate, and they're without their rest player. So,
he said he's not having fun playing basketball, which is kind of ironic. That's what happens when Kyrie Irving ever enters someone's orbit. You know, like he just ruins basketball for those teams. It
feels bigger than Kyrie this time.
You think he just hates Jason Kidd?
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't. There's been multiple instances where like him and Jason Kidd have been seen like he's ignoring Jason Kidd on the sidelines.
Yeah.
In like blatant, like there's no other way to like shape it. Like he's just ignoring Jason Kidd. I think it's the team. I mean, look, obviously the Luka Kyrie thing was like, we don't know what's going to happen because they're so ball dominant, but it's not like Kyrie hasn't been good against or next to other star players in the past.
Oh no, Kyrie's a good player that can play with anybody, but it's just his aura, I think, that brings people down.
They just like, I mean, just think about it, like they traded their best defender in Dorian Finney-Smith, and they were already kind of not playing defense. So like, I don't know, kind of a mess in Dallas. So they'll be without Luka tonight. Joel Embiid questionable. I think it's worth noting. He had a press conference or like spoke to the media and said sooner or later he's going to take a day off. He said there's no way around it. Going to take a day off. I don't know if it's here though, John.
Against Denver, against Jokic? You think he's going to sit this one out?
He, for a lack of a better term, shit on Jokic when they faced off the other, I think last month or earlier this month or whatever. He destroyed Jokic.
Yeah, January 28th.
Yeah, he did not have any answers.
47 and 18.
Yeah. And that was right around the time when like people started just like penciling in Jokic to win his third straight MVP. Right. That's like when the switch turned for Embiid because it's been insane since. So Embiid questionable, Harden questionable, but Doc Rivers said they expect Harden to be back for Monday. So just a couple notes there. In terms of Vegas, 16.5 point spread in Milwaukee, Detroit. Even though it's in Detroit.
You had a 16-point spread in yesterday's Spurs game. The Celtics covered that pretty easily. So, you know.
Shout out Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown doing the Lord's work. Right there.
He was, starting the fourth quarter up 30. Love that for my DFS lineups as well. Any other big spreads? Portland 9.5 point dogs in New Orleans. They're on a back-to-back.
No way Lillard plays, right? They've shut him down.
No, they've already. Games.
I saw the latest report was that they were leaning towards shutting him down, but like, you know.
No, I mean they're gonna.
I had to drop. I'm in the championship of our fantasy basketball league, James. I had to drop Damian Lillard because he's not playing. So
that is a brutal.
Was able to pick up Shaedon Sharp. He's been almost just as good. So like, but still, you know.
241. Yeah, finals. You want Damian Lillard. 241 total slate high in Sacramento, Minnesota. Some questionable players there, notably
Minnesota on a back-to-back too.
Minnesota on a back-to-back. I think that Portland, Minnesota. I think that Houston. Do they play in the early window? No, Dallas on a back.
Yeah.
Yep. And 234 in Phoenix, Utah. Utah 6.5-point dogs. This week we are getting the return of Kevin Durant on Wednesday.
I saw that. Yeah. Do we have Lauri Markkanen active for this game or not?
He is out, I believe.
Questionable.
No, it's questionable.
Questionable. Okay. He's been like going one on, one off lately. So.
Yep. They ruled Clarkson out already again. So if they're without Markkanen, it's going to be the Kelly O show once again.
Yep. All right, let's get into it here. Point guard position. We've talked about the top 2 price guys already off the slate. Luka, and we are expecting Damian Lillard to be shut down. Be the shock of all shocks if he suits up. Which gives us Kyrie Irving at $9,800 against the Pacers by himself. Gotta love that spot there for him. Halliburton returned to the lineup the other night for the Pacers there. Almost picked up right where he left off. Double-double, 19 and 13. He's considered questionable for this game against Dallas. Either guard in this spot, I think we're looking pretty good at. De'Aaron Fox did not play yesterday. We'll see if he suits up here for against Minnesota. Obviously, would be an elite spot, elite price too, $8,400 for De'Aaron Fox in this spot against Minnesota would be such a great price. How do you feel about playing the Pelicans players here, knowing that Portland's just down? Even Trendon Watford left last night. Now, Nasir Little came in and had just a ridiculous game. But, do you feel like Portland is going to be able to keep it competitive at all against this Pelicans team?
It's going to be interesting. I mean, Vegas expects it to be kind of a blowout. Portland getting 9.5. I mean, it opened at 9. It's been ballooned to 9.5. So, I mean, there's definitely a chance it could blow out. The Pelicans have looked better lately. Brandon Ingram has been out of his freaking mind.
Yeah.
Lately. So,
we were so correct on Brandon Ingram.
Yeah, we were.
Just...
it's going to be tough for them to keep it close. But as long as if they keep it close, look, we've seen Valanciunas play 35 minutes in blowouts in 3 straight games. We've seen Ingram playing in games that they're winning handily 34 minutes 2 straight. So 31 minutes and 3 straight blowout wins.
Yeah.
So we're probably going to get enough time. So because of that, I would play McCollum. I mean, he goes back to Portland. He's been good against them this year, 43 fantasy points in 3 meetings. I also don't want to just, in case Embiid does sit, I don't want to not play Harden, because when Doc was talking, he was like, we could get him back. They played the back-to-back Friday, Saturday. We could get him back Saturday, but most likely get him back Monday. So if Harden were to play and Embiid didn't, Harden firmly in place.
Yeah, Harden, great spot. Again, a lot of this top tier I think is pretty solid. Westbrook seems like a little bit of a coin flip because we just don't know, right? Bones Highland was playing out of his mind the other day. So,
two straight games. Bones Highland
cut it into some of the minutes there. We always love Jamal Murray. Price is coming up on him a little bit, but still just coming off a 50 fantasy point game. Could be a really good back and forth matchup here, especially if Philly is fully healthy. And this one at $7,900. Our boy Jalen Brunson questionable to play with the hand. He did practice on Sunday, so I assume that means he'd be good to go. And we get him at under 8K going up against Houston, right? That just feels like an auto lock.
Yeah, under 8K Jalen Brunson is just stupid.
Anybody else down here in the 7K range for you?
I mean, if anyone's out, anyone being Embiid or Harden or both, Tyrese Maxey is, I mean, it's Chris Paul continues to be really good.
Yep.
Or at least consistent. I mean, they blew out with Philly. He only needed to play 26 minutes, but 32 fantasy points. The only problem, and it's the Trae Young thing, it's
minutes.
The minutes are just capped, and I think this is playoff related. They're looking at it okay, we're in the playoffs. We're the 4th seed right now. We're 6 games behind the Kings. We can't really move up.
Yeah.
We're just playing Chris Paul enough to win games. So, if you can get 40, you can get. I mean, he got 50 in 33 minutes against OKC. But they're just not really pushing him past that. So that's the only thing we really have to worry about, Chris Paul.
If Brunson's out, Emmanuel quickly played 42 minutes in that game against Orlando.
Yeah. He's gonna play another 42. He's gonna play another 42.
Yeah, they're just not gonna take him off the floor. So obviously that would be a pretty popular option for many, I think, in that spot. You can run Mike Conley back, I think, at $6,300.
Minnesota on a back-to-back. We didn't mention they played.
That is true. That is true. I forgot that he is the back-to-back. Does he play back-to-backs? He did.
Yeah, he's been playing back-to-backs. Yeah. I think the questionable players are probably Towns on a back-to-back.
Sure.
Like 32 minutes last night.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Well, it wasn't his greatest game, which is disappointing because he was a really good price. He's only 8K yesterday, but love to see the minutes there. We've been talking Shaedon Sharpe. I mean, he's the one that's taking the shots with Lillard out.
Yeah, he's been great.
Great 29, 24, and 24. Actual points scored the last 3 games. So Shaedon Sharpe's still too cheap at 62. You messaged me the other day, Chris Dunn's fantasy points per minute and usage right there when Marketing and those guys were off the floor. Not seeing a ton of minutes. I don't know if that worries you at all. Still 26 against Sacramento in that game. The 27 in the blood against Milwaukee. Do you think 5,900 is too much for him right now?
Probably, just because of the minutes. I mean, in the event Markkanen's out, maybe you can get there. But I don't know.
Yep. Kobe White, big price bump, but playing a lot of minutes. Even Caruso came back. What's the relation here? Was DeRozan out that game, or did he play?
DeRozan played against the Lakers. They blew the Lakers out because that's what they do. They just blow good teams out and they lose all the bad teams.
Couldn't beat Atlanta when I needed them to. Or the Kings. It was the Kings that couldn't beat.
The Kings.
De'Aaron Fox hit the game winner. Ruined my plays.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we can get to 5,600 Kobe White, but because I think there's actually semi.
Yeah, we're gonna play Bones probably right at 5K.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Just so
he's in the rotation.
His usage off the bench is just, like he comes off and he just fires, right? Like
he does not care,
right? And the 7 assists in both of those games too. Like that's pretty strong. So
yeah, I don't dislike Bones.
Where else are you going though? You think you like more value down here?
I think first off, I was assuming. I guess I was wrong. Keon Johnson's going to be a different position, but Archie Dakano's going to start. He's going to play mid-20s minutes. He's going to split time probably with Keon Johnson. So if you want to, he
has to hit a shot eventually, right?
He has to make a shot eventually. Right. I don't obviously, we got a good game out of Davion Mitchell. Finally, in place of... I'm
not trusting that to happen again.
But, yeah, it's hard to get to 4,500, Davion Mitchell. It is a good spot, so you could... Bruce Brown's interesting to me because they're, this, ongoing saga between Michael Malone and Michael Porter Jr. continues where, they're not playing Porter because he can't play defense.
Yeah.
And not just... They're not playing him, but they're, taking him off the floor. And Bruce Brown's playing the minutes. Point guard, small forward for Bruce Brown.
Yeah.
Very good eligibility. 29 minutes in back-to-back games, 25 plus, and
I miss the days that LeBron James was point guard, small forward.
Yeah, those were good days. So Bruce Brown, I think, is fine.
Okay.
Caruso, last piece in, if he plays 25 minutes, is fine.
Do you think Milwaukee sits anybody against Detroit?
I don't
on back-to-backs or anything, but I mean,
I don't.
Or maybe they have a front end here. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll look. But they
play Boston later this week. I know that's a big matchup. So
and I think it's, and we mentioned it last week. I think when Milwaukee was a big favorite against somebody, and you asked the same question. But they're only a game and a half ahead of Boston makes me think that they just want to ensure victories.
Okay. Yeah, I know they play Boston. I think Thursday. So
so they play Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. So. Boston is a second leg. Indiana, maybe they rest someone in Indiana on Wednesday. I mean, Middleton probably so. For sure, Middleton hits Indiana.
Yeah, 100%.
And then plays the Boston.
Yep, I agree with you there. All right, let's go to shooting guard here. At your top price, we got Devin Booker up at 10K on this slate here. I know he can get there, but I don't know if I get there at 10K. For him, Anthony Edwards, we'll see if he plays in the back-to-back. He should be fine. He hasn't generally sat back-to-backs, but he is coming off of the injury. Did not play well. Neither team scored over 100 points in that game last night, so nobody really wasn't the high-scoring affair Vegas told us it was going to be. I think that game total was 228, 230 or something like that, and then they combined for 190 points. So scrub it. They go back to the well against the worst defensive team in the NBA. And the Sacramento Kings, and he's $8,800. So, if you're looking at Anthony Edwards, Zach LaVine, are you favoring one over the other here?
Chicago back-to-back, by the way. We're just 4 back-to-back, so we're up to 4.
The early games throw me off sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, I would
32
probably
actual
lean.
for Zach.
I would lean Edwards if Towns were to sit on a
Okay.
back-to-back.
Okay.
I don't know if we need to get there. I kind of like Jalen Green,
Yeah, listen, outside
7,200.
of that one game against Memphis, Jalen Green's been really good. He has a 40 actual point game, a 30 actual point game, and a 32 actual point game in the last
So many minutes.
So
many minutes.
that's 5 even, yeah. So many minutes. Which is good. He was the number 2 overall pick last year? So like play the man. I'm with you. I don't mind it. Again, I like kind of going at Nick's cards. So we'll see if Brunson's in or out or not, but that could be a sneaky good game there. Yeah, THT, Kevin Huerter with a big price bump here. Obviously, there's no De'Aaron Fox. That's just like monster all season long. If De'Aaron Fox is out of the lineup, Kevin Huerter is an A-plus player. I mean, 20 of 39 from the floor the last 2 games. Like 29, 27 actual.
So pricey. This is crazy.
But if Fox is out against Minnesota, are you not tempted? Right?
No, I'm tempted. It's getting acclimated to seeing Kevin Huerter 6,700. Because if he goes, what if he starts the game 0 for 6? Then we know Malik Monk's in the game, and then Malik Monk's, but like, you know,
sort of, yes, but like there is still the shortened rotation there, right? Like, I guess Terrence Davis could work his way in there, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean GBPs for sure. I'm not chasing Trey Murphy's 32 actual, but he's been good.
And you did mention the spot.
I did mention the spot. It is
great. It's a great spot, and you have been talking about Trey Murphy a bunch, and I usually poo-poo it.
Listen, so, we were in on him when Brandon Ingram was out, and then Ingram came back and we cooled on him, but like he's finding his role now playing with McCollum and Ingram. So
10 of 12 from 3 is unsustainable. Like that's not going to happen. But he's hit 9 or more threes twice in 7 games. Like, so we know it's on the table. At the very least.
He is our favorite player. 14 shot attempts, 12 of them from 3-point range.
Dude, he's shooting, his splits are 48, 41, 90 from the field this year. That's so good.
Yeah, dude. Listen, we wanted him to play more last year, but he had to get acclimated. You know, breakout year. If they can ever get Zion on the floor for more than 25 games, like, you know, they might actually have a team here. You know, but like, yeah, you think about it. Their next year starting 5 could be Valanciunas and like Zion, and then Ingram and Murphy and McCollum, and so much offense, right?
Yep.
You know, but that won't ever happen. So more mid-tier guys: Josh Hart, Eric Gordon. We talk about Agbaji whenever there's no Lauri Markkanen, and another 20 actual for him against Sacramento the other day. Probably too expensive if there's Markkanen on the floor, but
yeah, no chance.
No chance. Yeah. I'm with you. All right, where else are we looking down here in this mid-range?
Dallas right here. Hardaway, 55. Played 36 minutes yesterday. That's good to see. No Luka is going to play another boatload of minutes. And then the wild card, that is Jaden Hardy. Like, we don't know what Jaden Hardy's going to do in terms of minutes. We don't know how much Jason Kidd's going to play him. But if he gets 25 minutes, there is massive upside.
So
if
he got the 25 minutes when Kyrie was out and Luka was in. So I wonder if there's a relation to Kyrie versus Luka and Jaden Hardy's role.
Like he's just more comfortable with Luka because he's played with him all year.
Or like he's more of a natural 2 and they like who do they start?
Well, Luka's big. Like Luka's like a 6'5", 6'6" point guard. So like it makes sense because Hardy is smaller. So
when Luka was out and Kyrie was in, did they start Jaden Hardy in that game, or was that a relation to Hardaway being?
Yeah, I think that was a relation to Hardaway being out too.
So yeah, well, I guess we'll have to see what the starting lineup looks like. If Hardy is starting, obviously I'm in. I feel like it's going to be Jalen Green that start, or not Jalen Green. What's his first name there? Josh Green. I feel like Josh Green's gonna be the one that probably ends up starting here.
Probably.
With Hardaway and Irving. I always like Ben Mathurin, 4,800. I know the minutes.
He started over Buddy Hield. They brought Buddy Hield off the bench.
Yeah, I know. Listen, I know the last couple of games have not been good for him, but the minutes have been okay. So, this is a guy that's made a living most of the season getting to the free throw line. So seeing no free throw attempts the last 2 games makes you wonder what the hell is going on. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. He's under 5K though. I think for tournaments, he's worth a dart throw. If Brunson's out, do you go back to Quentin Grimes here? I mean, it's sheesh. Like guy hit everything the other day. 11-3 is the last 2 games.
Yeah, I mean,
if there's no Brunson, right? Like
probably he's gonna play 30 minutes. They're gonna have like a 7-man rotation where quickly Grimes, Barrett, Randall, and Mitchell Robinson start, and the only 2 people you see off the bench is Josh Hart and Isaiah Hartenstein, and that's going to be a rotation. So, I think when Grimes firmly play, Houston's terrible defensively, so it's just going to be free reign from 3 again.
We can't figure out what the wing rotation of Phoenix, it seems like, is. The other day I asked you what was going on with Josh Okogie. You sent me a screenshot of Landry Shamet. Now the last 2 games, Shamet's not playing, Okogie's not playing. Terrence Ross, 23 and 27 minutes. He's gone for 31 and 40 fantasy points. He had a 30 actual point game against Sacramento.
Yeah, that's great. Dude, it's Ross and TJ Warren. That's what's taken over the Phoenix Suns bench depth.
Yeah, so like, I don't know. Are we playing these guys? Like
maybe. I mean, I don't hate it. Look, there's not. I mean, unless
TJ Warren went like a whole season since being traded without playing more than 10 minutes, and now he's played 27, 29, 20 the last 3 games. So
like the value will come if Embiid and Harden sit, but we don't really have definitive answers on them sitting. Like we can't really speak on them. What we can speak on is Phoenix playing their bench guys. As of now, the Phoenix bench guys are probably like one of the better values of the slate, just like because we know that they're playing minutes and we know that there's upside. If you had to pick one
between Ross and Warren right now, which one do you lean?
I mean, Ross has the better eligibility. Warren has just been
more minutes the last 2 games.
Yeah, has just been on the floor more. So TJ Warren, I think, but they're very similar of player. Like they both can just get super hot and just stay on the floor because they're making every shot. Right. And that's kind of what's happened. Like Okogie, 2 for 9, 1 for 2, 0 for 5. You're not on the floor. Yeah. And like the other ones are. So like I like Ross's eligibility better, but I think TJ Warren
higher upside.
Just playing more minutes.
I expected Keon Johnson to play more minutes yesterday. Only played 21.
45% owned. I played him. Had such a good second half. He was terrible in the first half. So good in the second half. And
like, who are they playing in that?
They played Archie Adakino. They closed. Even with Watford out, they closed with Archie Adakino, Thibault, Eubanks, Sharp, and Nasir Little. Sure. So they're not playing Reddish really more than 20 minutes, but they played Thibault 30 minutes. So it would either have to play Keon Johnson over Archie Adakino, who they probably wanted on the floor because Keon Johnson had 5 turnovers. So like,
I was saying Archie Adakino probably the only true point guard on that roster, right?
Yep. And then you're taking Thibault off, who's your best defender. It was a competitive game last night, so like keep him on the floor to guard SGA, so I mean, they're gonna have the same scenario tonight. Like you're keeping Thibault on the floor because Brandon Ingram's on the other side. So I like Keon Johnson in tournaments. If this game blows out, like he is definitely playing closer to 30 minutes, but we saw in a competitive game last night, low 20s is probably the ceiling.
The last 2 kind of blowout games for Milwaukee. Patty Collins played 27 and 29 minutes. He played 24 in the loss to Denver. Maybe we're just kind of playing some narrative.
I have no idea what to do with Milwaukee wings.
Some game flow plays here, maybe.
Dude, this is. I mean, one of those games I know. I mean, Middleton.
Yeah, Middleton sat out the front end of that
Utah.
Back-to-back.
Yeah, the Utah game. I don't know what to do with any of these guys.
Just float.
I mean, it's so hard, dude.
They're also all the same player, kind of, right?
They're
Ingles,
all
Allen,
the same player.
Yeah, they're all.
And then Jay Crowder's probable to return. He hasn't played in either of those games.
Yeah.
Like that just muddies it up even more. It's a nightmare. I mean, they very good problem to have in real life because they're so deep.
Just rolling depth. Yeah, just rolling depth.
I mean, it's just like, what do we do for DFS?
Right. Small forward position here. Kawhi's your top price guy at 10-1. He gets Chicago. We talked about Lauri Markkanen, listed as questionable against Phoenix here. He's at 9K. And then we got Brandon Ingram at 89. Again, against Portland. Feels like just a lock and load play. DDR is at $8,600. That feels like a really good price tag for him as well. If you're talking the top price guys here, do you find yourself looking to pay for a Kawhi Leonard on this slate, or are we just looking at Ingram and DeRozan?
I mean, I think if you want it to be different, Kawhi is going to be low owned. Has a big game against the Bulls on his ledger this year already. So you can get there, but it'll be low owned, and I don't think it's a priority with Giannis, Embiid, Jokic on the slate.
Yeah. And as you mentioned, we haven't found a lot of obvious value yet. So it may not be a double stud game. It may be, more of a fair and balance or a one in mid-tier play. So
yeah, and if Fox sits, we have Sabonis all by his lonesome too, and we know that's been money lately. So I don't think you need to get to Kawhi. I think settling with Brandon Ingram, DeRozan tier is perfectly fine.
Okay. How we feel about RJ Barrett here? Not his best performance against Orlando. Only 30 minutes there.
Oh, nightmare.
60%
owned.
Everybody flew to him without Brunson in the lineup.
I mean, he's a 30% usage rate. Like, I would do that 10 out of 10 times.
You play it again?
Probably
a much lower rostership today.
Yeah, but like he's like 30% usage rate.
I know, that's what I'm saying. You'll get him probably at a lower ownership because everybody's gonna be burned from him.
Here's the problem. We know that Thibodeau has no problem. I don't know why it's RJ Barrett specific, but RJ Barrett specifically will get taken off the floor if he's not shooting well for Josh Hart. Just RJ Barrett. Like, he's the only one that's...
Well, Thibodeau didn't even want Barrett. Remember, he was trying to trade for, was it Levine or something like that this offseason? Yeah. He got stuck with Barrett, so...
Yes, I will definitely go back to the well, but it's obviously Brunson correlated. If Brunson's in, no interest there.
I mean, you've been talking up Toby Harris lately. Not obviously coming off of his strongest game, but had some really good performances lately. If there's no Harden, no Embiid, probably some interest here on Harris against Denver.
No question about it. I think there's a lot of... Like, Philly is a big what if. It's very hard to talk about because we just don't know, right? Like, obviously Maxi's in play. Melton, who we... shooting guard, small forward, GOAT eligibility, but he's kind of been bad. Shake Milton's been like back in their rotation for like pretty big minutes lately. Like, he would be in play. But Toby's, I say this to you all the time. He is always the one that is forgotten when it comes to Philly. Because like we just rush to Maxey, we rush to jam in Harden or Embiid, whoever's in. And Tobias Harris is a really good basketball player. He's just on a roster that like loses him because they don't. They have two of like the 15 best players in the league. So it's like, okay, and then they have Maxey, who's Maxey's probably
better than Harris as a scorer, at least.
Yeah, Maxey's just a fire thrower. Like, he just shoots, and Toby is just a very good overall player. So I would love Tobias Harris if one or both of those guys are out.
Okay. Other guys down here, they're just playing Tari Eason right now. He hasn't been popping like we saw him earlier, maybe because he's playing with the starters or getting more run with those guys, but $5,600 for him. KJ Martin's there. My boy Jaden McDaniels got the whole 5 fouls in 10 minutes yesterday, but if there's no Towns, I mean, he was playing some really good basketball there going into last night, so maybe take a little shot on him if guys are out of the lineup.
Yeah, I don't hate it. It's obviously a tournament play because, we 5
fouls in 10 minutes.
We saw what could happen. Yeah. I mean, look at his game logs and just look through the fouls.
Well, listen, they say he's one of the best defensive players in the NBA, and that's because he gets up on you. So,
and he said it too. He said it. He did an interview with Shams recently. He said he was the best in the league. I'm just saying, I mean, the number he's like, if he just quotes the numbers, he's not wrong. It's not like, no, he's great.
Patrick Beverley's like, I'm the best on-ball defender in the NBA. It's like, are you, Patrick? Because you have a 112 defensive rating. The numbers would say you aren't, son. But Jaden McDaniels is. So, that's the way it is. That's the way it is. Yeah. What other value small forwards are we looking at?
White Bread Harry Barnes has been pretty good the last 2 games.
Of course he is. He's got a great floor, Some days he hits his shots more than others, and he pops. So.
Without De'Aaron Fox, there's been some mayo on the sandwich too, so a little extra something.
Are you a mayonnaise guy?
I became a mayonnaise guy like in recent years.
Yeah. Is it like real mayonnaise or is it like the Miracle Whip fake mayonnaise?
I don't know what the difference is. It's just a squirt bottle that I just
I just don't like mayonnaise in general, so it's fine.
Well, I'm just saying, usually it's just like there's just turkey there's just turkey and cheese.
It shouldn't surprise you I don't like mayonnaise because I'm notorious
you don't
for
like
not
condiments.
liking condiments.
Yeah.
So I'm just
all right then. Okay, Harrison Barnes putting a little Frank's Red Hot on his sandwich. Sure. Spicing things up a little bit without De'Aaron Fox. But if De'Aaron Fox is back in, it's just gonna be turkey and cheese on soggy white bread.
Yeah. Absolutely no reason whatsoever. Jordan Nwora played 34 minutes.
Did you see he scored 25 actual in the third quarter of that game?
Yeah, he hit every shot.
That is on pace for 100.
Yeah.
If he did that in the first quarter, he would have been on pace for 100 points.
He'll never do it again, but we do like Jordan Nwora. I just don't know if he's going to let him play enough. I guess if he's hitting shots, they have no choice but to leave him on the floor.
Yeah. But it's Rick Carlisle and Duarte's out. That's his only saving grace is Duarte being out. But he comes out, misses the first 2 shots, he's not even sniffing the play.
You've been touting Fontecchio with no market in. The minutes have been there. Just very streaky shooting.
Yep.
So difficult, so probably to trust on that one. If Josh Green starts today, any interest?
Yes.
Okay.
Every time he started, he's playing big minutes. Yep. Except yesterday, which, it's frustrating because he is a good player. But Kyrie and Luka, I guess they just don't like playing him with Kyrie and Luka. I don't know why, because,
yeah,
he's a good player. But, I would have interest in Josh Green.
Okay. And then we talked about it. Nasir Little came in last night for Trenton Watford. 31 minutes, 11 of 21 from the floor. Did have 5 fouls in that game, but 28 actual, 6 rebounds. Probably doesn't score 28 actual again, but the minutes the minutes are going to be there for him. So do you have any interest at 3,800?
Yeah, absolutely. We don't, obviously, do we have nothing official on Watford? Right ankle discomfort. I have to assume he doesn't play,
plays,
right?
though? He left last night with an injury, didn't come back. So.
Probably doesn't.
Yeah.
So it was weird because they ruled him eligible to return, and then at halftime they ruled him out. So right. I don't know, assuming he doesn't, Nasir Little is a good play.
Yeah.
Assuming he does, Nasir Little probably still in play because he's gonna play backup 3, backup 4.
Sure. If he doesn't start though, would you rather Warren?
Yeah, I'd rather Warren.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Yes.
All right. Power forward then. We got Giannis here at 11.6. Giannis is probable for this game. Detroit, he's just done some gross things too this year. He's averaging a double-double in 30 minutes because Detroit doesn't hang, so he just plays his 30, gets off the floor. But he's averaging 30 and 10. Went for 29 and 12 in 27 minutes against them the most recent time they played. So I have a hard time paying for Giannis here because I think he's capped. I understand that he could go for 35 and 12 in 30 minutes also, but that just has to be extreme efficiency. Again, it's not impossible. Look what he did against San Antonio there, 31 and 14 for 54. But you don't want 54 at 11.6. You need more. So tournaments, you want to play Giannis, that's fine. If Detroit can somehow manage to keep it competitive, he'll break the slate if you put him in your lineup. So Randall, we talk about if there's no Brunson, we'll probably have a lot of people kind of pivoting to him. I told you I only really like Brunson, only like Randall there, more of Mitchell Robinson. Wasn't going to be in that game just for the rebounding upside that Randall can have with Robinson out of the lineup. So I don't know if you would go back, but 93 against Houston is definitely a good price tag.
I would go back. I actually did fade him in that game too. More so because I got to Kawhi on that 4-game slate. And
Mitchell Robinson had 12 rebounds in that game with just 1 shot attempt. He was out there purely to rebound. So,
it's not that Randall didn't have. 9 rebounds is more than okay as well.
Yeah. He was having 15 rebound games when Mitchell Robinson was out of the lineup earlier this year.
Sure. So 7 for 20, right? He had 45 fantasy points, not making any shots.
It's a great matchup.
So it's a great matchup. If he goes 10 for 20, he goes for 50 something fantasy points, and at 9,300, that's pretty good. So I'm okay with going to Randall in this spot if Brunson's out.
Okay. There is no current injury designation here for Towns. We'll see if he does play a back-to-back or not. Encouraging to see the 32 minutes though last night, and it's a good price tag. I know he hasn't like paid it off yet, but it's a good price there on the back on him. You mentioned Kelly O's up to $7,100. Double doubles have been kind of in this card right now. There's no Ayton for Phoenix, so when he gets that,
I believe he is probable to return.
Is he back? Yeah, all right, you're right. I know he had been missing time, so I guess he's coming back for this game. Change your thoughts here at all on Ayton on Olynyk? $7,100?
No.
Okay.
It's if Markkanen's out, Kelly O's like running the offense.
Sure. Okay, other mid-tier guys down here. Bagley, Smith, Gordon. Anybody?
Bagley's tough to get to with a healthy front court. We kind of saw like him capped at 30 minutes. And they haven't moved his price since that big game.
Sure.
Jabari feels priced appropriately with everyone there. Needs somebody to be out, in my opinion. Sure. No, I don't really like this tier, truthfully.
Yeah.
It's kind of
looking down to this 5K range. I don't really know if there's anything that's just like jumping off the page to me.
Your boy Keegan Murray's been awesome.
Yeah.
Again, 8 for 15 without De'Aaron Fox, 6 threes.
I think it's funny. De'Aaron Fox being off the floor just seems to unlock a lot of guys. So, because those shot attempts are there. But yeah, listen, I don't mind Keegan Murray 54. We talk about him a lot. He's on pace to set the NBA rookie record for 3-pointers. So, we'll see if he gets there. But he's on pace for the 3-point record there for rookies. So, I'm good with him at 54. Again, we haven't found a lot of value, so 54 is a pretty decent price tag on a guy that's playing all those minutes. Anybody else?
I mean, there's two guys we mentioned in Warren and Little. They're probably the only two.
Yep.
Maxi Kleba played 32 minutes yesterday. If he were to play 32 minutes, 20 fantasy points, like we know he can space the floor and block shots and stuff. Not exciting, but 32 minutes, 32 minutes.
Okay. Let's go to center. Then we got Embiid, as we mentioned, could sit. May not sit. We'll see. 11-5. Jokic 11-4. Sabonis at 10-3 going up against Minnesota. Are your top three center plays?
I mean, I like them all. I like Embiid the most if he plays.
I kind of put Jokic last, which is probably rare to say. So,
look, Embiid is definitely out to prove more than Jokic in this matchup. Jokic does literally not care about awards. He just wants to win.
Mm-hmm.
And Embiid dominated him last game and is probably just a tougher matchup for Jokic, just considering Embiid's better, kind of like more physical.
Yeah, I mean, I said it like last year. I thought Embiid was gonna probably win the MVP, but then he got hurt there at the end, and then it just didn't like come to him for.
I agree. I think Jokic is last, which is not to say it's a bad play, because obviously if like he's low owned or something, it's definitely interesting.
Yeah.
But I would. Especially if Fox is out, I would probably put Sabonis.
Yeah, because you have Embiid and Jokic at the same price, and we like Embiid, and then you just have the savings on Sabonis, who's also giving you triple doubles. So I'm in there. Vuk got ejected from yesterday's game.
Yep.
8,500 against the Clippers. Would you consider it?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. J Val, as we've talked about, we've been rocking it.
It's monster minutes.
Easy
right now.
props lately. His rebound prop was set at 11.5, and his point prop was set at 50.5 against the Clippers.
Smash and smash.
Smashing, yep. So, you got Portland here against Eubanks. I mean, that's feels like a pretty easy spot for him. How do you feel about Ayton and Kessler going up against one another? Walker Kessler coming off of a 31-11 game.
Yeah, tough spot for Ayton. Blocker Kessler is nothing to mess with.
Yeah.
I think they're both tournament plays because Kessler also hadn't been playing any minute. Like the last two games, like the minutes were way down. Azubuike had been outplaying him for minutes. So like I would just play them both in tournaments, especially Ayton returning after 11 days off. So both fine for tournaments.
All right. Şengün's minutes up there, but I feel like he's still priced a little bit too much for me. All right.
Yeah, it's just appropriate. He's just appropriately priced. Like it's just.
They're not playing Christian Wood. Turner's. Was he
questionable? He missed the last game.
Yeah.
Jackson and Smith complete split right down the middle with minutes.
Yep.
Jackson started, and they both just.
If Turner's in, I like the spot for him. Great, good price, great spot.
Yep.
Anybody else down here for you? What's your other center, please?
I mean, both Indiana guys, obviously, if they're out.
You like any of the Detroit guys against Milwaukee?
I like that during split time with Wiseman. Like, kind of. I don't hate 25 minutes, 5K. Eubanks is gonna be super popular. He was great last night. He had 6 blocks. He was like 75% owned in single entries last night. So.
Yeah, I think Watford being out actually helped because they didn't have the rotation of Watford moving to the 5. So
if there's no Watford, it's just fire up Eubanks. It's pretty easy. It'll be a pretty easy plug and play.
Yep, I agree with you there as well. All right, that's it then. Where are we starting this baby?
Eubanks.
Eubanks, okay.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's just.
No, I mean, he
with the lack of value.
Yeah, he started the center anyways, and then if Watford's out, it's even better. So, all right, Eubanks is fine. Do you want to go TJ Warren?
Yep.
Okay. I'll put him at power forward. All right, so we got about $6,900 a player. Nice. Kyrie. No Luka, we already know.
Yeah, it's a good ass spot too. Indiana. Kyrie Ingram. Do we want to go Kyrie Ingram? Would that be like instead of going up to that top tier? I mean, we just don't know about Embiid.
Yeah.
Can't play
Kyrie
Giannis.
Ingram gives us 57 a player still, so like
that feels pretty good.
A lot of flex. We could probably get a third 7K player probably in there. Like if we would play Brunson or Quickly maybe if whomever is in or out of that lineup, you know.
For sure.
Shaden Sharp is 60,
I was just looking at Shaden Sharp.
62.
Yeah, that's where I was going to.
Right, Brunson. So we probably can't play Sharp and Brunson. Brunson with Sharp is $4,400 a player to give us a forward and a utility, but Quickly's a 5K per play for forward and utility. So
if we kept Sharp, and then Brunson's ruled out, we'll just save $300 because then we can go from Sharp to Quickly.
Yeah. Well, I don't mind keeping. If Brunson's out, I'm fine playing Sharp and Quickly. I'm just saying it gives us 5K a player for forward.
Oh, you're saying if Brunson's ruled out, then we have.
Yeah, because if Brunson's in, he's just a lot more expensive there. So, all right.
So you currently have which in your lineup?
I currently just have Sharp. So we have a guard forward utility at $5,500 a player.
Guard forward utility.
And if we use a mid 6K guy, it would leave us like a 5K per play to finish it out. So if we had another value play, like Nasir Little, you know, if we think that he's going to be in the lineup, like we could still roll 3 Portland guys.
I mean, I'm okay with it. I don't think Watford's going to play. We just don't know.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to play because you get hurt, you don't return.
I know, but why did they rule him probable? Like when they initially came back, let's see, Trenton Watford available to return. Then Trenton Watford has returned to Sunday's game. So he returned before half. Then he goes into halftime, and then he doesn't return.
He probably couldn't go. Probably tried to play through it.
All right, then let's just assume we'll assume he's out and play Little. That's fine.
All right, so we'll put Little in there. At forward, that gives us a $6,400 guard and utility. So again,
$6,400 guard.
So again, if there was like a cheaper player that we liked down here, like we could even bump, you know, we play Harrison Barnes or Bones Highland, or if there's no
Barnes is Barnes is very contingent on Fox.
Keegan Murray.
I feel like Murray at this price is also do you not feel like they're both contingent on?
No,
Fox?
Keegan Murray's been playing with Fox. He's been playing well.
Yeah, but he wasn't 5,400.
Okay, but he was still outperforming his price.
Yeah, I guess. All right, we can play Keegan Murray. That's fine.
And we can change it, obviously, if things go around. I mean, I like Bones Highland. Yeah. You know, like Bones is in the rotation there.
I don't hate Keegan Murray. Okay. I'm being a hater.
All right, that gives us a $7,400 guard then. CP3, Jalen Green is there.
Both those guys are fine.
Obviously, we'd probably play Hoarder if there's no Fox.
Yeah, if there's no Fox, we play Hoarder, but I'm not paying 67 for him if Fox is in.
Sure. No, of course not. He quickly would be another play if there's no Brunson.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of what ifs to happen on this slate.
Do you want to just put Jalen Green in here for now, and then we'll pivot?
Yeah, that works. Okay. Yeah, that works.
So Jalen Green we're happy with, but obviously if there's no Brunson, we like quickly here, and if there's no Fox, we like Kevin Hoarder. So probably be the two pivots to those lineups if one of those guys are out. Say Fox and Brunson are out. Are you playing Hoarder or quickly?
Quickly.
Okay. That's the lineup. Kyrie Irving, Shaedon Sharpe, Brandon Ingram, TJ Warren, Drew Eubanks, Jalen Green, Nasir Little, Keegan Murray, $200 left over for your lineups there. I believe Ryan Kirksey's on your playbook for Monday. James and I will be available in the Discord. If you have any questions, we'll be back for Tuesday. Good luck. We'll talk to you guys later.